to our time. Good morning to you.
Good morning, sir. I'm going to your listening.
I hope you're well.
Let me first of all say a condolences to Radio Go for the loss and burial of your colleague Ochinami, who I've also listened to closely over the years. So my condolences to the family and Radio Go family in general.
We really do appreciate it. Look, first of all, what are observations after perhaps reading the statement that was issued by WAEC?
Yes, and thank you very much. I've read the statement. I've also gone through the reports, and so far, as all those who are spoken said, we are waiting for the chief's latest report. But at least we can comment on the preliminary report or result WAEC has released. So now let me say that, as you've all been saying, I listened to your comments this morning with Stephen. These are one of the worst performances in the past 5 years, right?
Yes.
Yes. So let's look at the background. Now I'll look at from two areas or two positions. The first one for me is that this is one of the long-term, or let me say medium to short-term effects of the implementation of the pre-SHS policy. And so now this one, I'm very passionate about it because you know my position in the past on the implementation of the pre-SHS policy. And let me state it again, and I say it anywhere I go. I am not against free SHS of free education. I have problems with its implementation. And it's because normally when you talk about this thing, people think that you are against free SHS. No, I've always said, and those who know me, I say that if not for education, many of us or some of us wouldn't have where we are today. If you look at where we came from, picking my background, a village school, I tell people that I wrote BC in 1995 in darkness without electricity. So when we talk about this thing, we know what we are talking about. You realize that, Senna, the issue about the performance can be traced to how we implemented crisis policy, where children or students spend 3 weeks in school and 3 months at home. So realize that when you do this, the contact hours, and we've heard a lot of the things the previous administration, those were in charge of talking about, or that they've brought things that have increased contact hours, which is showing now. Let me also refer you to something that I am part of a program, and the former Vice Chancellor of the University of Ghana, Professor Adam said that what we are doing will pay for it in the next 10 years now. And I think we started paying for it. The contact hours was poor. So you see, the whole business policy seemed to have focused on, we are sending people to school. So it became quantity and not quality. So we were trumpeting, at the end of the year, we have a lot of the enrollment. So you could say the previous government was always champion enrollment. We have this number of people going to school. But the question was, did we ask ourselves the qualities that we're sending out? Yes, we heard that the last year was better, the 2023 was better. But even that, some of us raised issues with the way we did it. Because you realize that for the past 3 or 5 years, our Wassce exams have been done by Ghana alone. Have you realized that?
Yes.
When the COVID thing struck, instead of I wrote the Wassce in 1998. We wrote with the whole West Africa. And I'm sure you can tell me what experience. But after COVID left, we decided to create our own system. And there were complaints about how we're even trying to help students to pass to store up the numbers of performance. So for me, the whole issue about the PSHS implementation, how we focus so much on numbers, quantity. We have a number of enrollment, but we're not interested in the quality. To the extent that in our history in school, going to secondary school, the complaint and the issues were about food. So I realized that the past 2 years,
yes,
it was about feeding.
Yes,
children were fed low food. Children complain about the food right now. To the extent that there's a whole issue about maggot infected or weevil infested cereal. Remember that last year?
Yeah, it was a big issue.
So these are the issues we begin to think to ask ourselves, why did we do that to ourselves? We should be interested in quality. what are the kind of things are we giving the children? Are contact hours enough? Are we motivated teachers? So that to the extent that we spend money printing past questions for children. You remember?
Yes, vividly.
We spent millions in the name of preparing past questions. And I'm an educator in university. What is the sort of past question? Past questions are supposed to guide students to know the trend. You see, I listened to the guy he spoke to. He talked about an aspect of the topic that has not been brought in the past years, which was brought this last year, which could be accounting for the low performance mathematics. So if you focus on past questions, those aspects of the syllabus have never been asked. Do you ask a student or do you not help them? You don't help them. So see, so now for me, these are things I think that as a country, I'm happy we did a whole dialogue on education. Let's go to the report that Professor Jojo and the team did. Can we begin to ask ourselves, what can we improve? The second aspect I'm coming to is about the way we teach our mathematics, our basic and secondary schools. And I hope you went to secondary school. I went to primary school. Let me give you my experience why, after today, I've never lost my mathematics. When I was in class 4, I had this teacher who put long division. You remember long division, Senna?
Yes, very well.
You put long division on the board. Then when it's 12 o'clock, we are going to close at 1 o'clock. You give it a chalk. When you solve it, you take your bag and you go home. If you don't solve it, he will lash you and go and sit down. So we were children who to stay up to 6 p.m. So many of us hated mathematics. I went to Maoli school. I got 3 in math. I went to Maoli school, didn't like mathematics. I struggled, got a friend from Togo to help me. I got my B. So when I entered the university in 2000, I thought I was ended with mathematics in my life. I met math. It was at the undergraduate level when I did statistics. I realized that the person who taught us didn't help us. So now, it was at my master's level that I also made advanced quantitative techniques. That the lecturer then told us that these things is not about the result, it's about the understanding the interpretation of the data. So this man took his time to teach us advanced quantity. So now for the first time in my adult education life, I got an A in advanced quantity. So I believe that we were supposed to answer 4 questions in an exam. I answered 5, cancelled 1, and got 8. Because the lecturer who taught the advanced quantity master's level took his time and taught me. So I'm sure if you open the phone line and ask people to tell you about their experience with mathematics teachers, you hear stories. So now math is not difficult. The problem is the way it is being taught. People or students are put here. I ask in my case. So many of us go to the secondary school never liking mathematics. So I think we need to do something about that as a country. Can our mathematics teachers at the basic and secondary schools begin to ask themselves questions? How can half of the students fail in math? And so don't forget that math is one of the requirements to get to the university. I mean that all those who got the E8 and the F9, they're out. Last year, I had a result of one of the students. The girl did very well, A1, B2 in all the courses, and got F9 in math. So he couldn't come to the university. So then I'm pleading, let the math teachers GS take a bit of this. If not, this country, because math, we are talking about STEM education. If our mathematics foundations are bad, then we are dead as a country. Our engineers, our scientists, our doctors are not going to be able to do it in future. So these are my 2 preliminary comments. I want to make. If you have any questions, I can answer them.
I think I can just go straight to, because like you said, we'll all wait for the chief examiner's report. Let's see exactly what he attributes the underperformance to. But based on what you said, what do you think needs to change? Because you're talking about the free SHS.
Yeah.
And you're saying that is the outcome. You also admit, because I was going to point out to you that it was still a free SHS in 2022, 2023, 2024. So what do you think needs to change?
So now, I'm happy that this government has taken some bold decisions as far as the free SHS is concerned. I believe that we may begin to see an improvement in the results when we begin to see those changes. At least for now, we have not gotten a report about the PD in schools. Is that not the case? I think the government has a 2-year policy to try to take out the double track. Is that not correct? I believe that let's do more. But I also want to suggest that this is a national compromise. Let me give you 2 solutions. I think at the parent level, we need to invest more into the education of our children. I think that communities also have to come on. Now, I went to a school in Peki. You know, Peki, then we used to have what we call the PESTU exam. All the students from Peki and the universities used to kind of organize an exam for all the schools in Peki. And that it was what helped me to do well in my basic school and secondary school when I went to Mauli. In Mauli school, there used to be exams that I did every committee should take interest. That and we decided to put in policies or award schemes, so that these award schemes are organized regularly and students are awarded openly, it motivates people to do well. The schools can do that. Even, let me tell you, even at the university level, I have a policy for the past 2 years. At the end of my first semester, I rank the best 5 students, go to a class, just by some few awards. Then I give the second semester, performance becomes very good. When students feel that their efforts are being rewarded, it motivates them to put in the best. So 1, parents should take up the education of their children seriously. 2, GS have award schemes in place. Communities or this assembly should also come in. Let's be interested in the performance. I think that Mr. Local Government can have an award scheme after the end of every BC or SSC. Let's award the best district or the best region. Every region can be. For me, that can be one of the steps to improve our performance nationally.
Well, thank you. Thank you, Doc.
Welcome.
Yeah, that's Dr. Samson Obedapia joining us on the line, taking us to 18 minutes past now. We'll take a quick break. When we come back, we'll conclude on this matter. We have someone who is actually within the system teaching on his own observations and what he thinks has gone wrong, and then what he thinks needs to improve urgently.
Bogasaba. Smoke from firewood and charcoal is harmful and as damaging to our lungs as cigarettes. It can cause heart diseases leading to stroke and may even affect our eyesight in the long run.